Hello and welcome. I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original comic book turtles. This set includes Leonardo, Ninja Master of the Katana Swords, Donatello, Ninja Master of the Bow Staff, Michelangelo, Ninja Master of the Dual Nunchucks, and Raphael, Ninja Master of the Double Fisted Sai. And I love this set. These turtles are brand new. They're in store. They're hitting stores right now, and these guys are based on the original comic book Ninja Turtles. But what's great about these guys is that they're available at regular retail. You can pick these guys up right off the shelf and open them up and play with them. So let's take a closer look at these guys. Just looking at the packaging here now, all of these guys share pretty much the exact same packaging. The only thing that changes is going to be the art right here in the front, which shows off their names. So, you know, just taking a look at Leonardo here, taking a look at the packaging, it's very much like the packaging for the other Nick Turtles that we're getting right now, except this time around we're getting a more of a purple background instead of the green background that we're all used to. Taking a look around the back, we've got a shot of the Ninja Turtles that are available on shelves right now, some of the other figures that you can go and pick up right now. And then on the top, you've got a little bit of a bio there for each individual figure. Now, inside of the packaging, you're going to find a little, what my daughter likes to call the action figure map, which is really just a checklist that's included in most of the Ninja Turtles products now. And you'll find the checklist of all the figures that are available right now, some video games, and then around the back you've got your some of the other products, some of your masks and stuff like that. And then you're also going to get some cards for each individual turtle, and these are pretty cool if you're in the cards. I'm not a big card collector guy myself, but a lot of the figures that I get come with cards, so these are always cool to have if you're into this kind of thing. And you can see the artwork there, once again based on the original comic book, those first couple of comic books that came out. And around the back they're all pretty much the same. They just got the turtle logo there and some more artwork on the four turtles together. And then, of course, you get the turtles themselves. Now, just in case you're not familiar and you're wondering why they all have red bandanas, well, in the original comic books, the original Ninja Turtle comic books came out in black and white. Only the covers were in color, and in those original covers, they all had red bandanas. It wasn't until the cartoon series that came out later when they were given each individual colored bandana so that the kids had an easier time identifying each figure. So I've got them posed here as closely as possible to the cover of the first comic book that came out. They're not super articulated figures, so you're not going to get the exact same pose, but you know, this is the best approximation that I could come up with. Taking a closer look at the turtles themselves, these guys all share the same body, so we'll just take a look at Raphael here. And we'll take a closer look at each individual turtle, but these guys, like I was saying, they all share the same body. It's only the heads that are different. I absolutely love the sculpt on these guys. You know, these are right in line with the other Nickelodeon turtles that are out on shelves right now. So they got very good articulation. You've got a ball jointed head, so this guy's got a nice range of motion on the head. You've got a universal joint on the shoulder, so you can go up and down. You can also rotate. You can go in and out. You've got a rotation at the elbow, along with a nice pivot there. You've got that's another universal joint. Unfortunately, there is no wrist articulation on this guy, and that's going to kind of hinder some of the poses that you're going to want to do with some of the weapons. Especially I find with Donatello, because it's difficult to get, it's actually not difficult, it's dang near impossible to get Donatello to do a cool two-handed pose with his weapon because these wrists don't rotate. No articulation at the waist, but once again you've got a universal joint at the hip there, so you can go in and out, forward and backward, kind of rotate that. Again, you've got a rotation right at the knee along with a hinge, that's a universal joint there, and no articulation at the ankle. But just check out the detail that they gave these guys. These guys are absolutely beautiful, beautiful figures. If you look at them, just going around, they've got all that. This isn't. This kind of looks like scarring, but I think what this is meant to be, if you look at some of the artwork for the, once again, going back to the original artwork, there was a lot of shading that was done, and a lot of this shading and some of the muscle lines and stuff like that, this definition was all done using a lot of crisscross in the art. That's how they would kind of shade everything in, is just kind of make lines one way and then make lines the other way, just kind of crisscross them. And that's kind of what they were going for here, except that I kind of wish they would have darkened it in. And I kind of understand, like I said, once again, these are off-the-shelf figures. These are retailing for approximately $8 to $9, so they're not going to be super detailed with the paint. They are going to take some shortcuts here and there, but you know, if you look like, for example, right here on the shell, you can see that crossing, that little cross stitching or cross lines that I was talking about right there. And you know, if you're into that kind of thing and you want to take I don't know, like a Gundam pen or something like that, and mark those in, just darken all this stuff in, I'm sure it would look awesome. But as it is, it kind of looks like scarring rather than shading. So just something to take a note of. But you know, again, looking at these figures, the sculpt is absolutely beautiful. Going around to the back, if you look at the shell, some really nice sculpting on the shell there again. These guys look really, really nice. And one of my favorite features on these guys actually have tails, which is something that's very rare on most Ninja Turtles figures. I think there's only been like 2 or 3 different variations of Turtles that have actually had tails. So that's pretty cool that they actually included the tails on these guys. Taking a closer look at the head here, if we can get focused in. There we go. So there's Raphael's head, just so you can get a good look at Raphael. And his bandana going around, all that. And then taking a look at his weapons, nothing super crazy out of the ordinary here, just regular gray Psy weapons. But they look really, really nice. So we'll give these to Raphael. I usually kind of like to give him one up and one down. And there's Raphael right there. So, and as you can see, there's what I was talking about with the wrist right there. Because you don't have a wrist rotation, you can't really turn the side to point straight down. So you've kind of got it pointing in, or if you try to point it out, you're going to end up turning his elbow. So, you know, it's a bit of a shame. But again, these are off-the-shelf figures, so they're not going to be super articulated, but they are articulated enough, and you can get some really cool poses out of these guys. Let's take a look at Michelangelo next. Taking a look, just again, you know, same body, so we're just going to take a look at the head here real quick. If we can get focused in, come on. There we go. So again, you know, there's some of that shading that I was telling you guys about, and there's the head sculpt for Michelangelo rather. I like how nice and long the bandanas are for these guys. And the nunchucks are very similar to the nunchucks on the Michelangelo for the regular Nickelodeon line. So there's Michelangelo there. Taking a look at Leonardo. There's the head sculpt for Leonardo, and some more of that shading that they did. And kind of right here on the nose for these guys, it almost looks like a scar. And looking at it through the camera, it actually looks a lot deeper and a lot more noticeable in the camera than it does in hand. When you look at it in hand, it actually does look a little more like shading than it does in the camera. It's kind of surprising as I'm looking at it through the viewfinder how deep and dark that looks and how much like a scar that looks. And I'm hoping that doesn't put you off on these figures, because, you know, wait till you see them in person, because when you see them in person, it's actually not as protrusive as it's coming off on camera. Taking a look at the katanas, I really love what they've done with the katanas here, because they've got the nice long handle, just like the ones that he had in that original comic book. So there's a look at Leo, and then, come on Leo, stand up for me. And then here we go to Donnie, and there's Donnie's head sculpt right there. So they each have their own individual head sculpts, which is really, really nice. And they each have their individual weapons. And, you know, with Donnie's bow staff, it's, again, nothing crazy out of the ordinary, just a regular bow staff. It's a little shorter than what we're used to seeing with Donatello. Now, another thing of note here is that these guys don't have any holsters on their belts. So if you look at, like, Donatello, there's nowhere to put that bow staff on the back of his belt. Leonardo does not have the scabbards for his katana. Mikey doesn't have any holsters for his nunchucks, and Raphael doesn't really have anywhere to put his size. So that's another downside on these guys, and I hope I'm not coming off as negative as I think I'm coming off, because I'm really not trying to be. I'm just letting you guys know, you know, that there really is nowhere to put the weapons for these guys. If you were to pose them with them not using them. But that doesn't mean that these guys aren't awesome. And, you know, most of the time you're probably going to pose them with their weapons out anyway. So there you go. This set is absolutely awesome. Like I said, these are in stores right now. They're retailing for about $8 to $9. So these are real easy pickups. You know, you can just pick these up, open them up, and play with them, put them on your shelf, what have you. I absolutely love the idea of having these original comic book based turtles that are such easy access. Now, real quick, just for comparison, here's a look at the new original comic book Raphael standing next to the current Nickelodeon Battle Shell Raphael, and then over on this side the NECA Raphael that's also based on the original comic book. Now, the NECA Turtles, obviously, these were highly collectible figures, very difficult to find. A lot higher price point, but these guys are super detailed, and these guys are still a lot closer to the original comic book than these Nickelodeon Turtles that are coming out now. But again, you know, probably one of my favorite sculpts ever on Ninja Turtles, also with the tail, which I absolutely love. I just absolutely love that they got the tail. But again, these guys, if you're looking to get like original comic book style turtles, these NECA guys are very, very difficult to find, very high priced, where these guys are out in stores now. So, you know, just these are great figures. I know I'm probably gushing, but I absolutely love these new original comic book based NECA Turtles. Now here's Leonardo once again next to his current Nick Turtles Battle Shell figure, and then on this side the NECA figure, so you guys can see all the differences and similarities on both of these. And here we have Michelangelo compared next to the current Nick Turtles Battle Shell Michelangelo and his NECA counterpart. Check out all the differences and all the similarities there. And finally, Donatello next to his Nick Turtles Battle Shell counterpart and his NECA counterpart. So there you go, guys. There is the whole set of the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original comic book turtles. Like I said, these guys are hitting stores right now. If you're a fan of any variations of Ninja Turtle figures, or if you're a fan of the original comic book Ninja Turtles, you can't beat these guys. For regular retail, $8, $9 a piece, you absolutely cannot beat these guys. If you see these guys in stores, absolutely check them out. I think that about covers this set of new turtles. Please leave me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see. And I'll talk to you next time.